All right, coming up on November 2nd at the DCU Center, the second benefit for the Manny 267 Foundation. They had it at Mechanics Hall last time. They're moving it up to a bigger space in the DCU Center. Great lineup this year. Emily Ruskowski, Harrison Stebbins, Orlando Baxter, Corey Rodrigues, Brian Glowacki, Rafi Gonzalez, and the guy who we have on the phone right now, Mr. Paul Nardizzi. Paul, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us this morning.
Oh, it's great to be on here. You're saying my name last, so I assume that means I'm going last on the show.
Yeah, you're the headliner. That's the only way I could figure it out.
Oh, boy. Okay. It's going to be hard to follow 6 killer comics, but I'll be there.
Yeah, another great lineup this year, all going to benefit the Manny 267 Foundation. Paul is not only a stand-up comedian, but he is also an author. He has, you've written a couple of books, the Sarcastic Sports Trivia books, volumes 1 and 2. And then there's also the 602 Reasons to be Pissed Off. All three of those came out, I think more than 20 years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, I haven't written anything recently. I was in a little writing phase years ago, and I had fun writing them and made a few bucks on it, so it was worth it.
So as far as the Sarcastic Sports Trivia books, it's been about 20 years. There's probably a lot more trivia. I mean, a lot of crazy stuff has happened. I mean, in New England alone, there's probably a lot more trivia you can do. In fact, you don't even have to call it that. You can just call it the 602 Reasons to be Pissed Off about New England sports.
It sounds like you're pushing me to write volume 3.
Yes. Yeah.
So one of my favorite questions from that book, because some people don't know sports, so this was a gimme for anyone who doesn't know sports, is there were 4 running backs from USC who led the nation in rushing, and I gave them a hint. 3 of them never killed anybody. So everyone's gonna get OJ, right? So I'm on the Best Damn Sports Show period, and they're talking about the book, and I throw that out there. And you should have seen the look that Michael Irvin gave me, because he's evidently buddies with OJ.
Oh, geez.
I mean, he was. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I wish I had a tape of that, and I could throw that on my Facebook page. But Michael was not happy.
It'll pop up somewhere on the internet. When you're convicted of some kind of major crime, they'll pull out all that video.
Not if, but when. Okay.
So you are, but above everything else, I know you're a big sports fan, but above everything else, you are a great lover of the game of soccer.
Yes.
To me, one of the most underappreciated sport. Why is it? It's like the metric system. Why is the rest of the world?
Yeah,
it's like the number one sport in the world, except here in the United States. Why is that?
Well, 2 reasons. One is we have all the other sports that got a head start on it, and the other reason is that we kind of suck. We've been hearing. I've been hearing since I was a kid that the next World Cup cycle is going to be the cycle, and we're still saying that today. The last World Cup, they kind of went out, and I heard, they're young, and they just keep recycling the same excuses. We're not good. These other countries, for instance, Messi would go out at 8 a.m. and play on the beach all day. Our players play on Xbox all day. I mean, no one is doing what they're doing. No one's replicating, I'm going to go to the beach and play beach soccer for 8 hours. I'm going to play futsal all weekend. So our players completely lack the talent to compete with the world.
Well,
that's just a fact.
Well, then why do they so love it in say, Uruguay or Bulgaria? I mean, they're never in the World Cup finals. They're getting eliminated early all the time. It's so they're not. They suck too, but it's still like the number one sport in those countries.
Yeah, okay, that's a good example. But you said Bolivia, right? Bulgaria. They don't have NFL football there.
No, that's true.
They probably don't really get hoop. So they're just going to jump on what they have. At least they have a national team that can at least maybe qualify once in a while.
Right. I get it.
We qualify for the next World Cup because we hosted. Wow, that's exciting, huh?
Yeah. That's kind of cheating, I think.
Yeah, we get a free pass.
Have you been keeping up with the Ballad of Drake May, as I like to call it?
The Ballad of Drake May. I've watched him once, and I definitely liked what I saw.
Yeah, it's just I think he's just in a bad situation right now. What do you think about Gerard Mayo calling the team soft?
Well, I like how Belichick just completely made him backtrack those comments.
Yeah.
Like in no time flat. But I think the Revs, to go back to soccer, the Revs and the Patriots, it's hard to own two teams and have them both be the worst in the league, but somehow the Crafts have pulled it off. Like, terrible talent on both teams. I'm a big Revs fan. I go to all the games, and they're just bad. The rest of the league has bought players in like Messi and really bolstered their team, and somehow the Revs think they can compete with just nothing.
Well, that's what it was like being a Bruins fan in the 90s.
Yeah, you're right, Josh. Yeah. And what do we got now?
Well, we're headed back. So.
Yeah, right. Well,
I think the Revolution and the Patriots might actually be the same team. I have to pay closer attention.
Maybe they should switch for a Sunday, right? For a weekend.
Yeah.
At this,
definitely, that might work.
Yeah, at this point, what have you got to lose, really? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, maybe if the Revs maybe played the Patriots schedule, maybe they'd get all field goals, but they'd score like 21 points a game or something. I want to like Mayo, too. I do want to like him because I loved him as a player, but I'm watching him in the press conference, and I'm having a hard time warming up to it. I don't know what the players feel like when he's trying to gas them up, but it doesn't seem like it would work.
I get the guy, the vibe I get off of Drake May, and I don't know him at all. I've never met him. This is purely from seeing him on TV, like you, in press conferences and stuff. But he's to me, he seems like the kid that got off from driving a car full of drunk football players around in high school, and the chief of police was like, "Oh, you're Drake. All right, well, we need you for this weekend, so for this Friday, so we'll let you go this time." I don't know. I get that vibe off of him, but that's just me.
I'm going to start digging. You might have something.
So you'll be in the lineup for the Manny 267 Foundation benefit here in Worcester, and you must have played Worcester before.
I have played the DCU. Yeah, it's been a while, but it's definitely a great venue. I'm glad to hear that they're moving it to a bigger one. That just means that it's picking up momentum. Apparently, this guy tried to save a kid from drowning. He's a hero, and he was a funny guy, so we're doing it to make the crowd laugh, but also keeping him in mind that this is what he liked to do, is make people laugh. So
yeah,
is this one in the arena part? I'm not even sure.
I don't know. It doesn't really specify here because they've also got some other big rooms in the convention center side.
Right,
so.
That's what I assumed it was in. Yeah, because if I could fill the big arena, I probably wouldn't be on the phone with you right now, right? So.
Yeah, that's true. You'd be blowing me off. Yeah, you'd be blowing me off like Joe Rogan, and Bill Burr. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever play the Dick Doherty room when it was at the Aku? I almost said the 99.
Yep. Yeah, that one too. I was there with Joe Rogan. Yes.
Oh,
wow, Rogan played the Aku in Worcester, huh?
And Bill Burr. Yeah, I think about that all the time. Like, Joe Rogan. He was
I'm sorry. I went to the last night that place was open, and I had no idea they were closing, but they were selling. And I get in there, and I order, like I always do when I'm at the Aku, I order a flaming volcano for me and my wife. And they come out in a clear glass, like Pyrex bowl with just a load of liquor and ice cubes in it. And I'm like, where's the flaming volcano? He's like, we sold all those. We're closing. Tonight's our last night. Like, you sold? You're closing? Oh, well, bring me another immediately. And then we ended up buying like 6 of the little hula girl glasses that they had.
And where are those now?
I have no idea where they are now, actually. But
and they charge you full price, of course, without the flames, right?
Yeah, of course. I know. Seriously, I know. Give me my 151 topper, for crying out loud. So you were at the Aku. How long ago was that?
Well, I started in '90, so it was probably in the early '90s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and Rogan was really, still to this day, he's one of the nicest guys to me. I mean, anytime I would go to L.A. and he was out there, he would take me around, pop me into different clubs, like really helpful guy. And he was, I've always said, one of the most helpful guys in comedy that I've ever met.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. When I worked at WAF back in the day, he used to just show up during the morning show. And the security would call us, and they would say, "There's a Joe Rogan down here to see you." And we're like, do we want to let him up now? And then, we always let him up, but then it's
now
just
he's
funny.
Influencing elections.
I know. Now he's making people eat elk.
You're right.
It's all right. Well, Paul, again, thank you for taking part in this benefit, the DCU Center on November 2nd. Tickets are available. We're looking forward to seeing you back here in Worcester, man. Thank you.
All right, great talking to both of you.